Inside the Arena is presented by Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, Seattle's closest sportsbook.
Welcome to Inside the Arena, your source for everything off the ice, off the court, and outside the field of play. With your hosts, KOMO Sports Director Niko and KOMO Senior Reporter Chris Daniels.
He's back, everybody.
How about it?
And his arms are tired. Niko Tamurian.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry.
Because you were flying from the Bay Area.
Well played.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's as far as work trips have been concerned, flying across the country, Toronto, Detroit, Sugar Bowl, etc. It was a pretty good flight. Direct, 2 hours. Other than the guy sitting on my left that was like sleeping on the tray table almost in my lap. I nudged that guy. I'm like, what? And he's like, what? Come on. Airplane etiquette is gone completely from this country.
There's a lot of things that are gone right now, which we're going to get into in this show, right?
Oh, we totally are. Absolutely.
Episode 84 straight weeks. How many?
Wow.
Good 84 off the top of your
It was.
head?
It was the year before I was born.
Yeah. Before Back to the Future too came out,
Yeah.
that great movie year. Well, we're going to talk about a lot of good stuff in this show, including the Seahawks and what they have meant from a business perspective.
Yeah.
Off the field in Pioneer Square. You were down at the game. I was in one of the brand new businesses that have opened up, and we're going to talk with the folks from the RailSpur development a little bit later on in this show about all the stuff that's now being opened in Pioneer Square that is taking advantage of the Seahawks success and the World Cup here in the near future.
Yeah, it's funny because, we had an amazing fall. You talk about 2025 was a big sports year, big stories. And here we are in the opening days of 26 and arguably the biggest thing to come potentially.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are spoiled by all the success, which takes us right into the thing we like to do every week, right?
Yeah. The four
we like
corners.
to touch them all, the four corners. If I can find the right button, Bill Fesh, there we go. What's good? What's bad? Off the ice, off the court, off the field of play, Niko.
Well, I want to start with the Kraken. And this is a good thing because it wasn't that long ago, just a couple shows ago, we were lamenting. We were talking about how sad it was that they had lost all these games and how this was such a pivotal year and this was that and this. And lo and behold, as of this recording on Wednesday night, January 7th, it is Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
They've won 8 of 9. And they are a point out of first place after being a point out of last place. And it's really remarkable when you think about the way this team has been able to turn things around. That's a credit to those players. That's a credit to Lane Lambert. Because as you know, hockey especially, it can be like quicksand. I mean, You start falling, you're losing. The other guys are getting 2 points at a time. And it becomes insurmountable pretty quickly. And yet, there we are. They've won 8 of 9. The rest of the division's kind of been middling, so to speak. And they're 1 point out of first as of this recording. So kudos to the Kraken. They listened to you and I. They listened to Inside the Arena and they said, wow, if we've lost Niko and Chris, we might have lost the season. What was it? Who was the president? Nixon lost Cronkite.
Yeah.
And then, and they decided, you know what? We want Niko and Chris. Not that we ever left. We always support the Kraken and cover them the best of our ability. But I think that we gave them the podcast jinx, the motivation necessary. And let's hope they can keep it going through April, May, and beyond.
It's a thing that my friend Softy over at KJR likes to do.
Yeah.
The old reverse jinx. Apparently, we did the reverse jinx here, talking about what was good and bad last year. Yes, last year in 2025. And we were talking about the Kraken, and oh boy, they're going to be wallowing down in the depths again of the National Hockey League, and they turned it right around. They use that as motivational audio, I think, in the locker room.
That's what I'm saying. And here's the thing. You go from a point out of last place to now being in the playoffs if it started today. It's remarkable.
Yeah, it's been an interesting turnaround, and it was good to see Berkeley Catton get the monkey off his back, get a couple of goals against the Boston Bruins of all franchises, and it's been fun to watch in the last couple of weeks after we had them in the depth.
Yeah, that's just it. It's really important that they, at the very least, let's hope they make the playoffs again for just the second time ever, but at the very least, have brought the interest back, have said, hey, we're resilient. We fought back. You got to stick with us too, to the fans. And I think they will.
Well, I'll tell you what else is good this week. And you know this very well from the success of the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And really, you were very optimistic at the start of the season about how this team was going to perform. And they are the number 1 seed without a doubt right now. They have a bye coming up. And it was fun to be down in Pioneer Square to watch the game with other people. There's a brand new brewing company, Lowrider Brewing, in the old FX McCrory's building that's really been kind of sitting empty for the last 7 years down there on King and Occidental. We're going to talk about this whole development later in the show. But a lot of people came out just to watch the game together and be down there, and multiple bars. And there is this benefit off the field when the Seahawks do well. People want to go down and be with other people. And having a home playoff game, like we have seen before, means all sorts of extra tax revenue from visitors, hotel, motel taxes, over 15% in the city of Seattle. So when all of those rooms get rented, we heard it from the Silver Cloud Hotel down across the street from Lumen and T-Mobile Park, that they have over 200 rooms. They're going to have to bring staff back 2 months early. They're going to be able to give more work days to people working in hospitality, all because the Seahawks are going to host those playoff games, plural, potentially.
Yeah.
It's a big win off the field for people, not necessarily going into the stadium.
Yeah, that's just it. It's sports matter well beyond the wins and losses for the diehard fans, although that is what drives it. It's something that is citywide, and that's something that I've always harped on when folks are saying, well, sports aren't important, or when people get mad about, I'm not saying all of these deals are great, but they're like, well, why do we have to do this for this team, or potentially look at stadium upgrades or a new stadium? It's because you have to be not short-sighted and see that this is what can happen. I mean, you struck a chord with me with those workers at the hotels. They get to come back to work 2 months early.
Yeah.
That's income they were not expecting. That can be game-changing for really just about any family that happens to. So really cool stuff, and it's all caused by the hometown NFL team doing their thing, winning big. And I'll tell you, when I was down in the Bay Area, the Niner reporters, let's be honest, San Francisco's had a lot of success in recent years. They're good this year. They've been to Super Bowls, right? They were just kind of blown away. Wow, what happened to this Seahawks team?
Yeah.
And testament to Mike McDonald, the culture he's running there. And it's like almost like the Legion of Boom identity kind of resonated throughout the city of Seattle. I think you're seeing that. But unlike the Legion of Boom, which was kind of born out of that chip on your shoulders, that I want to knock you on the ground, like, this is more of like out of love. They want to help each other. And I don't want to be cliche about it. Like, obviously there are dogs out there too, right? Yeah. But like, and I think you're going to kind of see that camaraderie, that connectiveness that makes this Seahawks team different. I think you're going to kind of see that out in our community as well.
It's also fun when the expectations are not high going into a season and you exceed those expectations.
I told anybody who would listen to me, pump the over on that 7.5 wins on the win total for the Seahawks. Some of that was silly.
Some people could have made some money.
They could have if they listened to me. Yeah.
So what don't you like this week?
Yeah, well, I don't like. You talk about Softy. He hates this too. There's a lot of people. Yeah, listen, and this is such a fluid situation, so I'll give the timestamp on it again that we were recording this on a Wednesday night, January 7th. But this Damon Williams stuff is crazy. Listen, players are allowed to leave. That is the system, like it or not. Broken or not, you are allowed to leave. But there's a way to conduct yourself. And whoever is advising him, and I don't want to say it's necessarily the agent, because maybe he just did this on his own. Maybe there's a family member or friend that's an advisor that's going over the agent's head. So, whoever is advising Damon to do this is putting this young man in a tough position. Again, when I talk about you're allowed to leave, there's a way to conduct yourself. You don't sign a contract, then 4 days later break it to leave. Just don't sign the contract, because now you've created potentially, you might lose whatever extra money that LSU presumably is going to pay you over UW, because you're going to have to pay some damages now. Like, who advised you to sign that? If you were at all thinking of leaving, who advised you to sign that contract? And then it adds the whole nuance, like, well, you just signed, you're leaving already. And of course, the optics of sending your post during a memorial service for a UW student athlete. You were one of the only teammates not at that funeral that's in town. And you were spending that time announcing on social media for clicks and likes that you're going to go in the transfer portal. Thanks, Husky Nation. Like I said, there's a way to conduct yourself. You can transfer wherever the heck you want. That is the nature of the beast these days. But there's a way to carry yourself. And I'm going to tell you what, if the NFL is the goal, they notice this. They notice this stuff. That's a mark on his profile when it comes to draft day, should he be lucky enough to be in that position with NFL teams. But the whole system's broken. And I think what this one boils down to is the way it was done, namely that contract. And now we have this whole situation where UW and the Big Ten, who helped draft that contract, are looking into this saying, well, wait a minute. You can't just sign something and leave. This is going to be a watershed moment in college athletics. If DeMond Williams can just sign that deal and walk off scot-free, college sports is done as we know it, if it isn't already. And that's why I think a lot of conferences, high-level officials are going to try and do whatever support they can to make sure it's at least enforced in some way. DeMond Williams isn't going to be playing football at UW again, but he's going to have to pay just like anybody else who leaves a contract. There's going to have to be some repercussions for that.
Folks, Niko is like the most positive person I know, and the fact that you just said that was like the movie Network, with Peter Finch, when he's mad as heck and he's not going to take it anymore. That was the Niko Tamurian rant.
It's absurd because this beautiful game of college football, which 5 years ago even was pretty darn good, has just gone completely off the rails. There needs to be a commissioner. There needs to be oversight. I was reading articles, Pete Thamel at ESPN. I grew up reading his stuff, by the way, when I was a kid. He said it best. Like, some of these administrators are telling him, like, I don't even know who to complain to. Like, I see my guys tampered with all the time, but who do I talk to about it? Nobody knows how to do anything, and it's the Wild West. And if DeMond Williams there needs to be something punitive of this, or else the game is done.
Well, and I'll just bring it home along those same lines, the hypocrisy of it all, right? To see Husky fans complaining about somebody getting poached and
right.
Washington State University's been doing this for a couple of years now with their quarterbacks getting poached and going off to whether it's Miami or Oklahoma. Cam Ward, John Mateer happened back-to-back years. There's a lot of Coug fans that are laughing at Husky fans right now who are upset about all of this. But to your point, there's just no control right now. If somebody, we went from a point where kids, should they be paid, should they not be paid, to okay, how long can they be in something called the transfer portal?
Yeah.
How binding are these contracts? How much money should be spent for these kids? And really, it's taking the onus off even getting an education if they're just shopping themselves around for a contract at a college level. That's just minor league football.
Yeah, that's what it is. And guess what? We already have football. It's the NFL. And people like that. What they liked about college was that affiliation with the university, the pureness of amateur, so to speak, sports. And again, players should be paid. Let's not, mess with that at all. But like, there's a way to do it. And again, players can transfer. There's nothing wrong with DeMond Williams deciding to go to wherever the heck he goes. But there's a way to do it is the point there. You don't sign a contract and then sneak out of it scot-free 4 days later. You don't send a message behind your teammates' back when they're at essentially a funeral, but a memorial service for a fellow student athlete. Just the optics, whoever advised him on those optics, boy, oh boy, I hope they never steer another young man or young athlete ever again.
You make a really good point. Should we at least try to update people on the NBA, the Supersonic Minute?
Speaking of behind people's backs,
let's see. It's right there. There we are.
That's not the right one.
There we go. Yeah. Well, here we could even talk about. There's not a lot to report this week.
No news is good news, or no? No, I guess not.
Not a lot of news. We know Adam Silver has said 2026 is going to be the year they make a decision. It's now 2026, so he's on the clock.
He's on the clock. Sorry, I don't have anything good to follow up with. I tried so hard to just conjure something up there, but I didn't have it.
Well, let's talk about what is going on right now in Seattle. As we said off the top of the show, the great news with the Seahawks going to the playoffs, what that means for businesses. The place where I was at on Saturday night while you were on the field, the RailSpur development, the old FX McCrory site, it's actually multiple buildings there. Henry Watson from the RailSpur is talking about what exactly they plan to do, what is still coming, what is there now, the reusable material that's gone into building out the block. You're going to hear what he has to say about the new RailSpur development that's feeding off the Seahawks' success coming up after the break.
Looking for the ultimate game day spot? Head up to Hawks Peak Sports Bar and Grill at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. The place to be for game days. With over 60 TVs, you won't miss a single play, no matter where you sit. Grab your crew, your favorite bites, and your go-to drink, and catch every touchdown, dunk, or goal in style. Hawks Peak Sports Bar and Grill, where every seat is the best seat in the house. Learn more at snowcasino.com.
All right, Henry, thanks for joining us and coming inside the arena to talk about some fun stuff that's going on in Pioneer Square.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
So the RailSpur development, I had the pleasure of watching the Seahawks 49ers game in the brand new brewing spot that's in the old FX McCrory's, but it's really part of a major redevelopment of Pioneer Square with a lot of things going on. Tell us what RailSpur is all about and really how long this has been in development now.
Yeah, I mean, the whole RailSpur project has been in the works for over a decade. We acquired 3 buildings down here in Pioneer Square in between 1st and King Street. So we opened up the Populous Hotel this past May and just opened up Renee's Brewery, Lowlander Brewing on December 14th for the Colts game. There's also a multifamily component to it, but really the secret sauce of it is the alleyways. So the railroad used to come right through the buildings here down in Pioneer Square, and all the buildings are they've been modified to kind of turn all in on the alley, so it creates this big like open plaza. So when the weather turns, we'll be able to activate this on a regular basis for game days and markets and all those kinds of things.
Yeah, I think I've done a few stories now in the area, so I'm familiar with. But to really kind of help people understand where it is, it's King and Occidental. It's where FX McCrory's, the Seattle's first sports bar, was. You go around the side. There's an event space that is on the 5th or 6th floor of the other building, and then you've got the hotel on first. So it's really kind of a big footprint there. The hotel. Why did Pioneer Square need a hotel in that spot?
I mean, we really saw the opportunity for to build a hotel down here. I mean, Seattle's boutique hotel scene, we saw a lot to be desired with it. Fortunately, the building, the Westland building there at 100 King, was basically perfect to drop a hotel into there. So we were able to fit 120 rooms. Pioneer Square's first rooftop bar, which is a big deal. We were able to get some code changes to make that thing happen. So all just really, really exciting. But and then the timing with of course, like the waterfront. There's a lot of momentum in the city, particularly with Pioneer Square, not just with our little development. Pioneer Square is really having a moment, which is exciting to see.
Was it the waterfront project that kind of kickstarted this? I know there was some discussion about why now, after all these years coming out of the pandemic, and why invest in that area right now?
Pioneer Square reminded us a lot of similar districts that have had success in the country, similar to like the Embarcadero in San Francisco. The waterfront project was a huge indicator for us, the timing of all of it. But we were particularly excited about just this particular site with how the alleys crisscross between the buildings. It's unique to Seattle specifically, where you have 4 buildings that make up a quadrant on the block. And so we thought with our emphasis on like placemaking and curation of the specific, place where we can control the scene, we thought if we could control, the majority of the block, we could really create a little ecosystem here where we could create a lot of buzz.
Yeah, what can you say about the top levels there? I've been there a couple of times now, above Lowlander Brewing, so high above the lowland. There's a nice, beautiful spot that has views as well. That's part of the project, right?
Yeah, it's this magical little zone. So we now have 2 rooftops at RailSpur. So we have the rooftop at RailSpur, which is an event space that opened up in May. And then we also have Furn, which is a rooftop bar, the first rooftop bar in Pioneer Square. We're starting to call it internally kind of like the 8th hill of Seattle. Pioneer Square, if you're standing on the rooftops here, you can see just all these little magical zones, and you can see, Queen Anne, Capitol Hill, Magnolia. It's really cool to just kind of be like above the city a little bit. And of course, with just like the historically preserved district in Pioneer Square, you have this amazing view looking north at downtown Seattle. It's pretty special.
I know the Art Walk has been important for the development too, and for Pioneer Square. But I think one of the cool things about it, having been inside, is there's been a lot of reusable materials, especially at the Populous Hotel. What can you say about that? A lot of artwork too that was done on site.
Yeah, art is, central to everything that we do here. We were fortunate enough to collaborate with a group early on when as soon as I've been working on this project called Forest for the Trees. So in 2022, when we first got certificate of occupancy for the building, we actually opened up the entire FX McRory's building. So we had a 100,000 square foot art show with over 200 artists that took place over 4 days during Seattle Art Fair. And so that was kind of the first moment where we realized, like, hey, we really have something special here. And so since then, the arts have just been very, very central to everything that we've done. I mean, the first Thursday Art Walk was going on far before, my involvement. It's the longest standing tradition in the neighborhood. And so we really wanted to just join in on the fun. And it's been great seeing just how, like, the different galleries have come together. Pioneer Square First Thursday Art Walk has really become like a place to go, and it's really fun to see. And then, sorry, to answer your second question, Populous, the guys from Forest for the Trees, so Archive and Forest for the Trees are our two partners here. They actually curated all the art in the hotel. We had an empty floor here. It's actually the floor that I'm sitting on before this all got built out. We had an artist in residency program, and they invited artists from all over the country, all over the world, and they produced over like 100 original pieces of artwork that now exists in the walls and all the common areas of the hotel. So it's really like a living museum. I mean, there's some really incredible artists there. So if anyone hasn't seen it, I encourage you to come down and check it out.
So you have art, you have restaurants, you have a hotel, you have these places to hang out, and there's a lot of fun stuff coming up in Pioneer Square here in the next couple of weeks, and also down the road later on this summer in June and July. Was there a certain strategy to try and get a lot of this up and running before the World Cup?
I mean, I think it's certainly something we've kind of all been marching toward. I mean, with construction and development, it's always hard to predict a specific timeline. But I mean, the buzz around the city, we certainly have been marching towards that. The brewery opened up on December 14th for the Seahawks Colts game. I mean, we want to catch all the sports buzz that we can, and just be part of the shift that's happening down here.
So I was again fortunate enough to be down there for the Saturday night Seahawks 49ers game, and it was impressive, the crowd that turned out to watch the game there at Lowlander Brewing. Any way to say what these bonus Seahawks games, potentially 2 home games in January, mean for kind of kicking everything off here in this first year for RailSpur?
I mean, 2 more home games would be really exciting. I mean, let's hope the Hawks can take it all the way. But I mean, just for all the businesses down here, I mean, we saw that when the Mariners had their playoff run. I mean, the additional pops that you get from these home playoff games, there's just more buzz. People are excited, probably spending more money at bars. And so that's great for our businesses. So to get 2 additional games, I mean, that's 70,000 people coming down here for 2 opportunities that we weren't sure would happen. So, but beyond that, what I thought was really special when you were down at Lowlander for the game when the Seahawks were away, playing against the 49ers, I got down to the neighborhood at about 3:00 when the brewery was opening, and people were actually wrapped around the block waiting to get in, which is something I had never seen in my time coming down here for sporting games. Typically people, come down to Pioneer Square for home games, but to come down here for an away game was something that was really, really like special and exciting to see, like just the buzz and the excitement around the Hawks. And so just thinking about that and like a cultural shift, if people start coming down here to just, watch our teams while they're away, that also will just have a tremendous impact on businesses too. So I'm excited just to see what happens over the next, 2-3 weeks, hopefully leading up to the Super Bowl. And then when the Mariners get back into town, Sounders are coming back. So there's a lot of buzz down here.
And it's very cool how it was lit up in the Seahawks colors in green and blue. And I don't want to shortchange the other restaurants or the food places on either side of Lowlander. Yeah. What can you say about it's kind of a small, intimate restaurant next to Lowlander, further up on King there towards First. What can you say about that place and the pizza place?
So 3 restaurants are now open on the ground floor of the old FX McRory's building. All 3 concepts are done by Renee Erickson and Sea Creatures Restaurant Group. So Lowlander Brewing is, the big space for the sporting games, but next door We have Un Po Tipsy, which is a pizza by the slice spot that's really great right there off of Occidental. And then Mio Mio is the restaurant that is on King Street, adjacent to the hotel. And that's a really special spot. If you've been to like Lioness or Wallace and the Carpenter, I ate there last week, and it was one of the best meals I've had in Seattle ever. So I'm really excited for people to check it out.
That sounds like an endorsement right there.
Yeah, and then the spring, the last restaurant that will open in the FX building, it'll be in the alleyway. That'll be Death & Co., which is a highly anticipated arrival in Seattle. They're a big cocktail group out of New York City, so we're really excited to welcome them. So construction's ongoing on that, and so we're excited to get them on the block.
Yeah, it's been fun to see, Henry, as you know, just the development on Occidental, further down Occidental, of course, with the hall. And it just seems like a lot of people are coming back into the neighborhood at the same time, new places across the street on First. It's been fun to see here in the last year, especially with the waterfront reopening the way it has, to see this all happening at once.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Well, Henry, thanks for doing this, and I look forward to seeing you maybe in Lowlanders soon.
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks so much.
I wish I went to Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel and put the over on the Seahawks. I was telling everybody to do it, and I didn't do it.
You would have made some money.
I don't know. I mean, I would have. Whatever. Maybe I could just buy a lotto ticket. No, but I wish I did that. Maybe next year. You know what, though? Next year, the win total is going to be like 12 or something. So,
and then you could go buy some beers at the Lowlander Brewing, right? In the brand new. Thanks, Henry, by the way, for doing that, and the folks there. It really is, I think, going to be one of those spots that it becomes Instagram worthy for a lot of people. There's the rooftop bars that he's talking about. Great kind of views down Occidental. It's all right there for the World Cup. Obviously, that's going to be a big event for everybody in Pioneer Square. But, one of the things I tell people about sports and why it's fun to cover just fan events is you get to see the collective joy. People that don't normally come together to slap high fives or hug each other. Total strangers will high five and hug and talk, and it's all for one thing in particular. It's their hometown team doing well and cheering them on. And we saw that again. Our good friend TK Johnson, photographer, he was watching his people coming out of all these bars and want to talk, and they're just happy. Yeah, they're just happy, and it's just one of those things that's fun. It's one of those things that's fun.
It's really fun. You need to see it, and just like we saw in the fall, the Seahawks bringing people together. We need more togetherness, and sports can do that.
And I think people are going to get spoiled at this point with the Mariners and the Seahawks and the Kraken.
Just keep it up.
And the UW team, soccer team.
Yeah. Basketball had a big win last week. Yeah, let's go. Keep it rolling.
Well, we do have to bring this show to a halt.
Yeah, well, we're going to go to like episode 1000 at some point. But for this one, David Lee, take us out.
You've been listening to Inside the Arena with Niko and Chris. Please subscribe on your favorite platform. Until next time.
Inside the Arena was presented by Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, Seattle's closest sports book.